And now for a message from the Warrior Within sponsor, Diane Call. Diane Call is a singer-songwriter with an amazing music page on Facebook. You can find it at www.facebook.com/DianeCall17. You can also subscribe to her YouTube channel and stay up to date on the latest music video releases, including the one for her first single, Cowboy Church. Diane Call Music. Hello, and welcome to another episode of The Warrior Within. I have a special guest on my show today, as you can see. Why don't you look at the camera, Miss Harlow? This is my special guest, Harlow Topaz Bennett. And if you don't know how special she is a shelter pet. We actually adopted her last year. And she's been a part of our family since last year. I absolutely love her. She's become a very important part of our family. She's my daughter's therapy cat. My daughter has had, she's had seizures in the past, and she has come off of her seizure medication, which is awesome and wonderful and amazing. But she still has stress. And she's had, meltdowns coming off of the seizure medication. And Harlow has really, really helped Willow a lot. She's an amazing therapy cat. And that's today's topic on The Warrior Within, is the importance of adopting shelter pets. Harlow was not a kitten when I adopted her. She was close to being 2 years of age. She was a little over a year old, probably about a year and 4 months old. And she's been absolutely incredible, a wonderful addition to our family. And I just absolutely adore Harlow. And it's very, very important to adopt animals from the shelters. I'm a strong believer in adopting and not shopping. There are so many animals, dogs, cats, rabbits, who need love, who need to be given a second chance. They need to be shown kindness and compassion. And, don't just adopt a kitten because it's cute. Don't just adopt a puppy because it's cute. Think of older animals. There are a lot of older pets that would make amazing companions, like Harlow here. That are in the shelters right now, that could really use your help, that could really use a loving home to be in. And a lot of these animals come from, horrible conditions. They come from horrible environments. Maybe they were found on the street. Maybe they were in an abusive home life situation. They need love. They need compassion. And they need someone to take care of them. They can't take care of themselves. You have to think of cats and dogs as 3-year-olds. They're like children. And I don't consider Harlow to be just a pet. She's a member of the family, and she's a really, really, really important member of my family. My life has been bettered by Harlow. So, like I said, on this episode, I'm going to be talking about the importance of pet adoption, as well as, the statistics of how many of our precious, precious animals are getting put to sleep because no one has stepped up to adopt them. A lot of people like to shop instead of adopt. I'm a strong believer in adoption compared to shopping. As always, I do have to advise, viewer discretion. Parents, please watch this episode before you let your kids see it. See if they're mature enough to handle this episode, because I am going to be talking about some pretty scary statistics and some pretty scary, reality to the world of pet shops, of shopping for pets. So here we go. Like I said, it's very important to adopt animals, and it's very important to consider older animals. I know that, a lot of times, especially around Christmas, people want to get their kids the cute little puppy or the cute little kitten or the little bunny rabbit from the pet store. I strongly advise against that. I have worked as a vet assistant. I have been a vet tech student. Am I a professional? Do I know everything there is to know about this? No. I have actually worked in a pet store before. I will not give you the name of the pet store. I won't give you the name of the vet clinic that I worked for because of privacy reasons. And I don't want to badmouth any store, any vet clinic. That's not what this episode is about. I'm just giving you the real statistics, and I'm giving you my viewpoint. The opinions in this episode are my opinions and my opinions only. They do not represent the opinions of professional veterinarians or pet shop owners. They're my opinions, and this is what I have dealt with in my life. This is my experience with working at a pet shop and my experience with being a vet tech student as well as a vet assistant. So, like I said, it's very important to adopt pets because a lot of times when you go into a pet store, you have to consider that they are taking these animals, like especially exotic animals, out of their environment. And if people keep buying these animals, then they're going to keep restocking them because they are making money off of them. They're taking these animals out of their natural environment. And I'm talking about like birds and snakes and turtles and, exotic pets. But a lot of people a lot of people buy rabbits from these pet stores, and what they don't consider is that the rabbits that are in these pet stores, not every single pet store, maybe there are some pet stores who don't do this. Maybe there are some pet stores who take excellent care of their animals that are in the pet store. But a lot of times rabbits are stacked on top of each other in tiny little cages. They're stacked one upon another. Like there are so many rabbits stuffed into one cage that they become sick, they become ill, they start biting each other. A lot of times they'll get infections, they'll get, wounds on them, and you're adopting these rabbits from a situation like that. You don't know what this rabbit has. You don't know if they're going to have parasites, if they're going to have diseases. You don't know what situation they came from. And the same goes with a lot of the puppies that are sold in pet shops. They're not healthy. They are not healthy because they come from a puppy mill. They come from a place where, their parents are just, they keep breeding the parents, and the mother dog has had so many litters of puppies that she becomes sick, and it's not a good situation at all. I think that, it's better to adopt from like the Humane Society or adopt from your local pet shelter. They have beautiful dogs and beautiful cats and beautiful rabbits that really need a home. A lot of times people go and get their kids pet bunnies, pet kittens, pet puppies for Christmas or for Easter for the bunnies, and the newness wears off. The kid gets bored with the animal, and then guess what happens? These animals are ditched, they're abandoned, they're not taken care of as well as they should be. They're dropped off at animal shelters, and it's a very, very sad situation. It's very, very important to go to your local animal shelter and adopt a dog or adopt a cat or adopt a bunny. They have bunnies in those shelters as well. You just think of it as cats and dogs, but there's also bunnies in those shelters. And those bunnies need a home just as much as the next kitten or puppy. So, I'm going to talk about my experience with the animal shelters. I've adopted two animals, two beautiful family members from an animal shelter. It's called Paws. And back home in Southern Illinois, what that stood for is pets are worth saving. So, it's kind of the same situation. It's an animal shelter, and they take in dogs, cats of all ages. They have kittens there, they have puppies there. You can pretty much find a cute, precious animal companion in a shelter just as easily as you can find in a pet shop. And I paid like $45 for my cat Harlow. That's compared to like $800 or $200 to an animal store or an pet shop. And Harlow is a beautiful silver calico. She's an amazing cat. I adopted my dog, Penny, who is a German short-haired pointer, from the same shelter. So, you can find beautiful, precious animals in animal shelters. Just because it's an animal shelter does not mean that the animal is not of quality. I mean, what's there not to love about Harlow? What's there not to love about Penny? They're wonderful, wonderful family members, and my life has been bettered by them. And like I said, Harlow was not a kitten when I adopted her. I think that she came from a very bad situation because she was very, very shy when we adopted her. She doesn't meow. She doesn't like to meow. The only time that she meows is when she really has something to say. I think that the environment that she had come from was not a good environment. It was probably a abusive environment, I would say, because she had a situation where she did not like us petting her neck. And as you could see in the beginning of this episode, I was petting her neck. She fully trusts us, and she has become a wonderful addition to the family. So I've adopted Harlow from the pet shelter, and she is an amazing, amazing friend to have. You don't have to adopt kittens. You don't have to adopt puppies. I'm not telling you not to, but please really, really consider it before you do. Don't just go out and buy a puppy or kitten for your kid for Christmas because you think that that's going to be the best gift ever. It can be a good gift because it can teach your child responsibility, but you have to make sure that your child is mature enough to handle the responsibility of being able to take care of a puppy or a kitten. You can't just go out and get a puppy or a kitten for like a 1-year-old baby and expect them to know how to take care of this puppy or kitten. And if you don't have time to take care of this puppy or kitten for them, then you probably should reconsider whether or not to get a puppy or kitten for your child for Christmas or Easter when it comes to bunny rabbits. So I have adopted Harlow, and I've also adopted my dog Penelope Blossom Bennett. That's her full name. She's a German short-haired pointer, and she's an absolutely incredible companion to have. I love her so much. She has made my life so much better. She's very protective of me. She is my service dog. I adopted her originally because I've been missing having a dog in my life. All of my pets that I've had, I usually hang on to them until the day that they die. So, like, you know, I have them in my life for like 14 or 15 years. Hopefully longer. Hopefully they live a lot longer. But, you know, my dogs live to be like 14 or 15 years old. My cat, Phoenix, who passed away in 2020, lived to be 14 years old. I hang on to my beloved companions because they become a member of my family. They're not just throwaway animals. And I hate when people have that thought process. Oh, it's a bunny rabbit. Throwaway. It's a cat, dog. They don't have feelings. They don't have thoughts. They do. They're like 3-year-old children. They become a member of your family. They look up to you. They look to you for care. They look to you to take care of them. And in return, they'll take care of you. Like I said, my dog Penelope is extremely protective of this family. She won't let me go outside at night without being glued right by my side. She will not let me be outside when it's even raining because she's afraid that I'm going to get struck by lightning or something. Like, she's very, very protective. Animals are amazing beings. They're amazing beings. They have the power to tell when somebody's getting ready to have a seizure. They are great service animals to help people who have medical conditions. They are wonderful companions to help with nerves, stress. My dad used to have a therapy dog named Bruno, and he had that dog for about 16 years. That dog was wonderful with my dad. He took really good care of my dad and helped my dad with his stress. And that's what Harlow does for us, and that's what Penny does for me. Penny is an amazing therapy dog. I need to correct that because there is a difference between service animals and therapy animals. Penny is a therapy animal, and she has done an amazing job with it. I originally adopted Penny to help with my vet tech training, but she has become so much more to me than just that. She has become an amazing companion, and my life has become so much better because of her and because of Harlow. I have other pets as well. We always tease and say that Maple is the therapy cat to the therapy cat. Maple was the original therapy cat that we had gotten for my daughter Willow. We got Maple from a friend that I had worked with at the vet clinic. We got Maple from her twin sister, which I'm really, really thankful for. And Maple is an amazing addition to the family. She's a great therapy pet, but Harlow um, gives Maple a run for her money, let's say. But Maple, she's wonderful. I absolutely love her. She's the comical one. She's the baby of the bunch, and she will let you know it. And then we also have Mishima. So the situation with Mishima, yes, I did buy him from a pet shop. And if I had it to do over, I would try to get a pet bunny from someone who has, knows how to raise bunny rabbits, from someone who knows how to take care of bunny rabbits. But, we've had Mishima, knock on wood, he's almost 6 years old. He's a wonderful addition to the family, absolutely sweet bunny rabbit, and he's not a throwaway pet. We don't think of our pets that way. We think of them as wonderful additions to the family, and if you take care of them, they'll take care of you. Mishima is he's an incredible bunny rabbit. I could carry on and on and on about the pets that I've had in my life. Like I said, we had a cat named Phoenix, and how I got Phoenix was she was a street cat. She got attacked by a dog, and my mom and dad rescued her, and we took her in as a kitten, and she was an incredible therapy cat. She helped me through a lot of situations in my lifetime. I'm about to cry because I still miss her. I miss Phoenix a lot. She was a wonderful member to the family, and there's not enough good things in the world that I could say about her, because she definitely earned her spot in my heart, because she helped me through so many stressful situations in my lifetime. She helped me through the death of my son, Ronan. She helped me through just so much. Like, animals are incredible beings. They know what your emotions are, and they try to help you with your emotions. They try to help fix things. I know that when Phoenix passed away and Penny seen me crying over Phoenix, like, she just fell apart, absolutely fell apart, and was going ballistic, and is like, oh my gosh, my mom is leaking. Why is she leaking? Why is she crying? I don't understand. And like, Penny loves giving hugs. She's she's an incredible dog. I can't say enough good things about all of my pets that I've had in my life. And like I said, my dad had a therapy dog named Bruno. May God rest his soul. Incredible dog. I absolutely loved that dog. And we've had other pets that we have adopted or rescued. I had a cat named Tidbit that we rescued from the streets. He was being abused pretty terribly, and we had that cat for 17 years. He lived a long life. So don't bypass getting an animal from the Humane Society or an animal shelter just because they're in an animal shelter and maybe they came from the streets, because some of my best companions in my lifetime were those that were found on the streets, were those that came from animal shelters. They need to be given a second chance, and they need to be loved. They need to be safe. They need to be taken care of. Here is the top reasons to adopt a pet. And this comes from the humanesociety.org. I am a strong believer in the Humane Society. They are incredible. I stand behind them 100%, and they are extremely important. So, thinking of adding a pet to your family, here is 10 reasons to consider adopting a cat or dog from an animal shelter. And like I said, there are rabbits in animal shelters as well, because you'll save a life. Each year, it is estimated that more than 1 million adoptable dogs and cats are euthanized in the United States. That is a huge, staggering, sickening number. Think about that. Think about it for just a second. Just a second. Oh, more than 1 million adoptable dogs and cats are euthanized in the United States simply because too many pets come into shelters and too few people consider adoption when looking for a pet. Please adopt and don't shop. I will keep saying that. Please adopt and don't shop. The number of euthanized animals could be dramatically reduced if more people would adopt pets instead of buying them. When you adopt cats or dogs, you save a loving animal by making them a part of your family and open up shelter space for another animal who might desperately need help. Like I said, a lot of these animals come from the street. A lot of these animals are broken. They're broken. They're heartbroken. They're broken. They have medical conditions. They have health issues. They are scrounging for food in dumpsters, eating things that are not safe for them to eat because they have no other choice. They need help. And these animal shelters are trying to get them adopted. The number 2 reason is because you'll get a great animal. Like I said, Penny is an amazing dog, and I am thankful that I took the time to go to the pet shelter and look through all the dogs, and I enjoyed it. I got to love on so many dogs while looking for my one dog. And when I came across Penelope sitting in the kennel, oh my gosh, it was love at first sight. And I knew that she was my dog. That's all there was to it. She was my dog. I just knew the moment that I seen Penelope sitting in that kennel that she was mine and that I was going to take her home. So, the number 2 reason is because you'll be getting a great animal. Animal shelters and rescue groups are brimming with happy, healthy pets just waiting for someone to take them into their loving home. Most shelter pets wound up there because of human problem, like a move or a divorce, not because the animals did anything wrong. Many are already house trained and used to living with families. How sad is that? I'm sorry. I'm really, really passionate about this. This is something that I'm really, really, really passionate about. A lot of times when people move, they're moving from like maybe a house where they're allowed to have pets into an apartment where they're not allowed to have pets. And the pet did nothing wrong. You got to think that, some of these pets have been with the family for like 3 or 4 years. And that's all they know. They've known these people to be their family for that long, and they're confused and they're hurt and they don't understand why their family is dropping them off in a strange situation, in a strange place. And they did nothing wrong. You'll be getting a pet that will be so happy and so thankful to have a home again. So happy and so thankful to have a human, paying attention to them, to loving on them, to snuggling with them. You'll be getting a great companion, a wonderful companion who, if you do for them, they'll thank you until their dying day. They will make sure that they make you happy until their dying day. Because that's all they want, is to make their human happy. The number 3 reason is because it'll cost you less. Like I said earlier, I only paid like $45 to $50 for my cat Harlow. And she's an incredible, incredible companion. She is nothing but kind and loving. Every day that I go to work, she always makes sure that I pay attention to her before I leave, because she hates it when I leave out the door. So does Maple. Maple cries and complains at me the whole entire time, and so does my dog Penelope. I have to pay attention to all of them. It's like an hour-long process before I can even leave for work. So I get up extra early just so that I can pay attention to my beloved critters before I go to work. Because like I said, they're family members and I treat them as such. So Harlow always has this thing where she rolls over on her back and she always has me pet her belly before I go to work. And it's the most precious thing in the world. And then when I come home, she always greets me and always wants me to pick her up and always wants me to give her a hug. It's just, they're like my kids. They are like, Willow's siblings. So I'm just overjoyed with having them in my life. They have made my life so much better. And the best part about it is Willow absolutely adores her cats, Maple and Harlow, and she absolutely adores Penny and Mishima. Like, it's incredible what pets can bring to your life, especially if you adopt one from a shelter, because a shelter animal is going to be extremely thankful that they have a home. They're going to be extremely kind and compassionate. They were going to go that extra mile to make sure that their human is happy. So you'll save less, or you'll save more money. It costs less, is what I meant to say. I'm so sorry. Usually, when you adopt pets, the cost of spay and neuter, first vaccinations, and sometimes even microchipping is included in the adoption price. So I paid $50 for Harlow, and she does have a microchip. So if Harlow were to escape for whatever reason, I'm not going to let that happen, but if Harlow were to run off for whatever reason, like escape out the door, she has a microchip placed in her. And that will tell people, if someone finds her and they take her to the animal shelter, they will scan that microchip and it will say that she belongs to this address, to this family, and this is her name. So, that's extra reassurance that I have that my cat's going to be safe. But you think about it. I know that when I worked at the pet store that I worked at, it cost probably I want to say the least expensive dog that you could adopt there was probably about $1,000, and it didn't include everything. It absolutely did not include everything. It included maybe the first set of shots. I'm not exactly sure what all was included, but definitely not as much was included with Harlow when I adopted her. I'm not telling you not to go to a pet store, but really, really do your research and really look into it, because I think that if you go to an animal shelter, you'll feel really good about adopting an animal that needs a home. You'll be saving a life and you'll be saving money, and the animal will be forever thankful. They will treat you like a king or queen, and they will do everything they can in their power to make you happy. So the number 4 reason is because of the bragging rights. No one needs to see another selfie unless it's a selfie of you with your adorable pet you just adopted. Adopt a pet. Post those pictures. Yes. I am infamous for taking bunches and bunches of pictures of my pets. I love them. What more can I say? And I'm not ashamed of gloating about my pets, because they deserve to be gloated about. They deserve to be talked about just as much as I talk about my daughter Willow, because they're all awesome and amazing, and I love them all very much. Number 5 is because it's one way to fight puppy mills. Puppy mills is a huge problem in the United States and elsewhere, but it is a huge problem in the United States. It's disgusting. It's awful. It makes me sick to my stomach. If you buy a dog from a pet store, an online seller, or a flea market, you almost certainly are getting a dog from a puppy mill. Puppy mills, if you do not know what puppy mills are, they are factory-style breeding facilities that put profit above the welfare of the dogs. So you have kennels and cages stacked upon kennels and cages, and you have way too many puppies, way too many dogs in one cage. And a lot of times they will have wounds on them because of the other puppies or the other dogs biting them. They bite each other and they fight because they're in such a close compounded area. And not to mention that you have zoonotic diseases. You have diseases that occur because these animals are laying in their own feces. They're laying in their own filth. It's absolutely disgusting, and it makes me sick to my stomach. Like I said, puppy mills are factory-style breeding facilities that put profit above the welfare of dogs. Animals from puppy mills are housed in shockingly poor conditions, like I said, and they do not have proper medical care and are often very sick and behaviorally troubled as a result. The moms of these puppies are kept in cages to be bred over and over and over and over for years without human companionship and with little hope of ever joining a family. And after they're no longer profitable, breeding dogs are simply discarded, either killed, abandoned, or sold at an auction. These puppy mills continue to stay in business through deceptive tactics. Their customers are unsuspecting consumers who shop in pet stores. Like I said, I worked in a pet store. I hated it. I hated everything about it. The first red flag that was put up for me in this pet store was the fact that if a puppy was sick, we had to tell anybody who was interested in adopting that puppy that they went to the vet. And a lot of times these puppies would have either parvo or some kind of parasite, and it's because they come from poor conditions. They are brought into the pet store from poor conditions. I'm not going to tell you the name of this pet store because not every pet store is this way, but the majority of them unfortunately are. So yeah, that's something to be aware of. Consumers are unsuspecting. They shop in the pet stores over the internet or through classified ads. Puppy mills will continue to operate until people stop supporting them. So please, please, please adopt and don't shop. By adopting a pet, you can be certain you aren't giving them a dime. So it is very, very, very important to get a pet from an animal shelter versus a pet store. It's cheaper, 9 chances out of 10. Yeah, the pet might have health issues, but in my heart and in my experience, the pets that I have gotten from pet shelters have been way more healthier and happier than the pets that are shoved into a tiny cubicle for your viewing pleasure at a pet store. Number 6 reason is because your home will thank you. Many of the pets from shelters and rescues are already house trained, which means you are not only saving a pet's life, you may be saving your rug. Adopting a mature pet not only gives older animals a second chance, it often means introducing them to your family will be much easier. Number 7 is because all pets are good for your health, but adoptees offer an extra boost. Not only do the animals give you unconditional love, but they have been shown to be psychologically, emotionally, and physically beneficial to their companions. Like I said, my dad had a therapy dog named Bruno. Bruno came from kind of a bad situation. He was a pet store dog. The people paid big money for him, but these particular people who had him didn't take care of him. They would throw him out in the cold. He had scars on his feet from them being frostbitten. Anytime that he would go back home to them and they would take him back in the home for however long, he would show them that he despised them by peeing in their shoes and doing things like that. And these people would just constantly throw him out in the cold. So my mom would take him in, and they found out that my mom was taking care of Bruno. And so they, thank goodness, they asked her if she just wanted to keep him. And she said 100% yes. And Bruno was a wonderful member of the family. I miss him very much. He was very respectful, very kind. And when I brought my daughter home from the hospital, Bruno took care of her. Like, he watched her. He was very, very protective of baby Willow. So, animals are incredible, and they needed to be treated with kindness and care. Like, they don't need to be treated like a throwaway object. They're not objects. They're not pretties. They are living beings who have a soul. They have feelings and they have thoughts. And people need to come to realize that more. Caring for a pet can provide a sense of purpose and fulfillment and lessen feelings of loneliness. And when you adopt, you also feel proud about helping an animal in need. So not only are you helping them, but they're also helping you. They are good. They are good, good, good. They're wonderful to have in your life. They have improved my life. My stress levels have went down since having Harlow and Maple and Mishima and Penny. Like, there are not enough words in the English language that could thank them for all of their service. I could thank them for being wonderful companions and wonderful members of the family. The number 8 reason is because adoption helps more than just one animal. Overburdened shelters take in millions of stray, abused, and lost animals every year. And by adopting an animal, you're making room for others. Not only are you giving more animals a second chance, but the cost of your adoption goes directly towards helping those shelters better care for the animals they take in. Number 9 is because the Shelter Pet Project makes it easy. You can go to the Shelter Pet Project to find pets near you of every size, color, temperament, breed. Purebred, mixed bred animals alike are waiting for their forever homes. Like I said, Penny is a German short-haired pointer. She's a purebred dog, and she's gorgeous. Harlow is a purebred. She is a silver calico. Absolutely gorgeous. So, just because they're in an animal shelter does not mean that they're going to be ugly and just not worth your time. That's ridiculous thought process. Number 10, because you'll change a homeless animal's whole world and get a new best friend out of the deal. Seriously, what could be better than that? Hello? Like I said, Harlow has made my life better. Maple's made my life better. Mishima's made my life better. Penny's made my life better. Granted, yes, Penny frustrates me sometimes because sometimes she can be a brat, but she's my brat and I love her to pieces. The number of homeless pets each year. This is a staggering, horribly huge number. And it just makes me sick to even see this. Each year, approximately 920,000 shelter animals are euthanized, 390,000 dogs, and 530,000 cats. I read that right. Pardon me. It's been a long day, I'm telling you. But yes, 920,000 shelter pets are euthanized. Not 390,000 dogs and 530,000 cats. To go along with that, it's very, very important that you pay attention to the animal shelters. Like I said, don't shop, adopt. But also, it's very, very important that you get your cats, dogs spayed or neutered. So that way they're not, adding to the growing population of homeless pets, of homeless animals, of animals that are getting taken to the animal shelter. Because if you get your cat or dog spayed or neutered, then they're not adding to the population. They're not adding to the problem by having, a litter of kittens or a litter of puppies that you don't have the money to take care of, or that you don't have the room for in your home. So it's really important to get pets spayed or neutered. I'm a huge advocate for that as well. Bob Barker used to say that on The Price is Right all the time, and he had a very valid point, and it was a very important point. So, definitely get your cats and dogs spayed or neutered. And not only that, like working in the vet assistant field, there is this condition that female cats can get that's called pyometria. And what it is their reproductive tubes fill up with pus, and it could actually kill them. So that's another reason to get your cat spayed, to get your female dog spayed. Like, we need to treat pets as living beings. They need to be respected, and they need to be taken care of, and they needed to be treated better. Don't shop. Please don't shop. Please adopt. So yeah, that's this episode. I could carry on and on and on about how wonderful Maple is, and how wonderful Penny is, and how wonderful Harlow is, and how wonderful Mishima is. Just please do your research. If you've never owned a cat or a dog before, or never owned a rabbit before, please do your research. Please look into what all it takes to have them in your life. Pets are not cheap. They have medical expenses just like humans do, and a lot of times the medical expenses on a dog or a cat are like more than that of a human, because it's specialized. It's a specialized thing. They consider taking your pet to the veterinarian as a specialized service, and that needs to be more normalized as well. But please don't let me keep you from, adopting a dog or a cat. If that's something you really want to do, then do it. Just make sure that you can take care of them properly. Make sure that you can get them to the veterinarian if they need to be taken to the veterinarian. Just do your research. It's not as easy as throwing out a bowl of water or a bowl of kibble. It's not that easy. Like, they're like children, and they need to be fed properly. They need to be groomed properly. They need to be taken care of properly. If you don't have time to train a dog to not go potty in the house, then please don't get one. If you don't have time to train a kitten or a puppy, please don't get one for your kid. Look into adopting older animals, like I said. And if you love being around animals, but you can't have one because maybe you're living in a situation where you're not allowed to have a cat or a dog, offer to volunteer at your local animal shelter. They take volunteers. They take donations. If you want to help out your local animal shelter, donate food. Ask them what you can donate. Just call them up and say, hey, what are you all in need of? And go and get that item, or write them out a check to get those items. A lot of times, animal shelters are in need of, cleaning products to keep their facilities sanitized and safe and clean for these pets, food for the pets, pet beds, play toys for the kittens and puppies that are in these shelters. But seriously, think about adopting an older pet. I don't regret adopting Harlow. She wasn't a kitten. And I did that on purpose because I wanted Maple to have a companion that was close to her age. I didn't want a kitten to get hurt because Maple didn't know how to play with a kitten. So, look into adopting an older pet, and I know that it's scary that, if you adopt a dog that's like, say, 6 years old, I know that it's scary because you're like, how much longer is this dog going to live? But I wouldn't think of it that way. I would think of how much time, how much quality time that you can spend with this dog that just wants nothing else but to be loved and cared for and to have a family. Like, think of the quality of life that they will have no matter how much time they have left on this earth. You will be really, really changing the life of a dog or cat. So stay tuned after this episode for a special feature, a special message. And as always, thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope that it was educational and informational. Love, hugs, and blessings. And go hug your pet. Show them how much you love them. This week's special cause on the Warrior Within is, of course, the Humane Society. The Humane Society is extremely important to the welfare of our precious, precious animals. If you want to find out more information on how you can help, you can go to humanesociety.org. You can donate, you can volunteer. There are many ways that you can help these precious beings to a better life. humanesociety.org.